Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Namo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagaracharya Stotra Sada Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj ki Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Prem se Kaur Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Antar Vyapam Dharam Vrindavan Dharam Tulsi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Samaved Vrinda ki God heavenly, all Krishnas and Vrindas, all Krishnas and Vrindas, all Krishnas and Vrindas, all Krishna Guru Gauranga. Wish are Varnamyam Nu Purvashaha. So anybody wants to repeat? Yeah, that's one. Atate.
Yogamayorubrimitaha Vishvastityudbhavantartha Varnayamyanupurvashaha.
Very good.
Atate Bhagavallila
Atate Bhagavad-lila
Yogamayorubrimitaha Vishvastityudbhavantartha Vishvastityudbhavantartha Varnayamyanupurvashaha Varnayamyanupurvashaha.
Perfect. Ever since he's here, it is a perfect service. He turned on the light. He turned on the microphone, he turned. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's go to word translation. Atha is therefore. Te means unto you. Bhagavat is pertaining to the personality of Godhead. Leela, pastimes. Yogamaya, energy of the Lord. Uru, greatly. Brahmita, extended by Vishwa, of the cosmic world. Sthiti means maintenance. Udbhava means creation. Anta means dissolution. Artha, purpose. Varnayami, I shall describe. Anupurvashaha, systematically. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. I shall therefore describe to you the pastimes by which the personality of Godhead extends its transcendental potency for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of all the cosmic world as they occur one after another. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The omnipotent Lord, by his different energies, can perform anything and everything he likes. The creation of the cosmic world is done by his Yogamaya energy. Although it's very short purport, we have to actually pay very much attention to it, because this is like a kind of hammering done by Maharishi Vedavyas. No matter which canto or chapter you are reading, Maharishi Vedvyas bring us to the same point. Because the first son of Lord, which we can call Lord Brahma, he already asked this question. Vidura is just repeating the question. And the reason because Maharishi Vedvyas wants to hammer it again. Let's say you forgot what was said in Canto 2. So the same question and same answers will come back. But again, through some other people. But this is something that we must not forget. That is why he is bringing this up. So, in second canto, in chapter 10, beginning, text 1, it says here, Shri Shuka Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanamutaya Manvantarenu Katha Virodo Mukti Ashraya. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, in the Srimad Bhagavatam there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following: the creation of the universe, sub-creation, planetary system, protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, the change of Manus, the science of God, returning home, back to Godhead, liberation, and samambonam. So here the question is also raised the same thing, that I shall therefore describe to you the pastimes by which the personality of Godhead extends its transcendental potency for the creation, maintenance, and dissolutions of cosmic world as they occur one after other. So the subject matter is not changing, and here its credit is given to Srimad Bhagavatam that during all these 12 cantos, this thing is already mentioned. The beauty to explain that is in a second text, and it says, to isolate the transcendence of samambonam, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic interference, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanation given by the great sages. So it varies where it is given, but there are 3 ways he is indicating here. That Shruti, by listening, most of the time I face a question, where you get this thing, right? Shruti. Because when I listen, let's say Maharaj is saying something, I hear, but I don't investigate where he said from. I just, that's like mind is like a computer. It's being imprinted in my brain. And when time comes, I repeat his words. But where he got from, we don't know. But I heard it, and that is Shruti. That is, they say, is Vedic inference. And sometimes by direct explanation, then, just like we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, by reading direct translation and purports by Srila Prabhupada, that's another way. And then sometimes by summary explanation given by the great sages. These may not be available right in Srimad Bhagavatam, or only 7 verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are, main scriptures for the base of our movement. But the thing is that sometimes you may have to go back to some other Puranas, which are much more older than Srimad Bhagavatam or even Bhagavad Gita. It has a history, millions of years of history, and there were like 18 Puranas. Only thing, in Bhagavatam, I think the second verse is already explained that situation, that he is using the word kaivata. What is it? Dharman prajita kaivato, right? That's the word. Confession by personality like Vedyas, this is something, unbelievable. You go in the court and say, "My Lord, I'm sorry, I'm guilty." Who will do that, right? He will attend lawyers and attorney general and all that, but he won't say truth. Here, only second text, Maharishi Vedyas is confessing that completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is a reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in its maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture as soon as attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam? By this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within it. So what happens that if you take a Shiva Purana, he is only glorifies Lord Shiva. He is the best salesperson, right? Somebody is selling shoes. So he's just talking about, our shoes. Well, in the rain, it works. Well, in winter, it gives you a lot of warmth in your feet, And in the summer, don't even you feel that you are running or jogging, These are the best shoes, He doesn't want to talk about anything else. And finally, he will sell you the shoes anyway, by any means. So those read Shiva Purana, they are convinced. He is so perfect in convincing people that he will convince. And then he will write Ganesh Purana. So now everybody go to Ganesha. Pranamya Shirisa Devam Gauri Putram Vinayakam Bhaktya Vasam Smare Nityam Ayu Kamardha Siddhaye. He is the one who is going to give you everything. Wow, forget about Shiva. Let's go to Ganesha. So this is what happened. For millions and millions of years, people didn't know where to go. That is this particular word, Kaitava. Kaitava is something material motive in your mind that you want to hide the truth and talk about something else, leaving the main subject aside. He kept doing this until his own soul says that no, that's not the right way. Look at the people, look at the community. 33 million god and goddesses, and they don't know what to do, right? So that's why his spiritual master Narad Muni says that now you write something of the right subject, write about Krishna. And this is the result. So the second verse, I love that he confessed by using that particular word. And here in second canto, like I said, if you follow those process or the index of sarga, visarga, and all that, creation, subcreation, planetary system, protection, creative impetus, manus, science of God, going back to Godhead, liberation, 10, samam bonum, all those 10 subjects in an order if you study, then you realize that it is the Krishna who is creating, maintaining, and dissolving. Although, in order to do that, Krishna has created Lord Brahma for the creation, for Lord Vishnu for maintenance, and for Lord Shiva for dissolution. That's a different story. They are the head, but everything is coming from the main office, that is Krishna. So, Krishna says, Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyache sacharacharam hetunena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. This is in Bhagavad Gita, and he says, this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, producing all moving and non-moving, begins under its rule. This manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So it's happening again and again and again, and that is why it becomes so important to know basic knowledge, and that's why Maharishi Vedvyas is actually hammering over and over in every canto that you did. So I just proved that in 10th chapter only he was talking about all this. Now again in 3rd canto also he came up, 5th chapter again, same question. Srila Prabhupada is guiding us. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti kotishva basuradi vibhuti vinnam tad brahma nirkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. Right? You meditate on the Supreme Personality of Govinda, the primeval Lord whose transcendental bodily affluence known as Brahma Jyoti, which is unlimited and all pervasive, is cause of the creation of unlimited numbers of planets, etc., with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life. So it is all coming from Krishna. And one time I remember long back when first we started this particular subject matter discussion, I made about cardboard about 4 feet by 3 feet, and then I labeled everything, so the people can read from there. And I brought it here. But I had a rough sketch of that, in which there is a Parashakti, Aparashakti. So Para is spiritual energy of Krishna. Apara is material energy of Krishna. And then there is a marginal energy which is spiritual plus material. So here it says, I shall therefore describe, and also like Prabhupada says that omnipotent Lord by different energies. What do you mean by different? So this is the difference. One is spiritual, another is material, and third is marginal. We are all marginal. This garland can go this way and that way. If you hold like that, like a pendulum, right? So our position like this. One side is spiritual, other side is material. So we just move around from right to left and left to right. That's our position all the time. Sometimes it's spiritual. When you are in the class, yes, it's all spiritual. In presence of Srila Prabhupada, in presence of Radha Govinda, spiritual master, and rest of the devotees, we are okay. But as soon as you step out of the road and you something which attracts you materially, there are 5 senses, right? Your eyes would like to see the beauty. Your ears would like to sing, or what you call hear some song or something like that. And your mouth would like to taste something. And nose would like to smell something. The skin would like to touch something. All those are with you. And before even you know, they get engaged in those activities to satisfy your gratification. When you come back to the temple, you realize, oh my God, what I did. I wasted my time. Half an hour I was listening to the lecture, and I thought I will be a good man, but see what I did.
I've seen people buying lottery around the corner. He said, you are a devotee, why you want to play lottery? He said, Prabhu, everybody needs it. Okay. One time I was late for Rath Yatra, so I thought maybe I should take a subway and just reach it to the cart, So I go down the staircase, and the devotee with the mridanga was smoking. And he said, I'm sorry, Prabhu. I said, no, don't worry. I also smoke, I said, don't worry. So he felt good that somebody else is also smoking, 2 weeks before, I should not be saying this, but senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he is physically weak, and he was sitting on a sidewalk, and he was just sitting. But the girl that he got married must be 20-year-old or whatever, This guy is very old. So he found a girl who was ready to marry him, and she was smoking. And he said, I'm sorry, Prabhu. And then she passed a cigarette to her husband, and who was sitting on a sidewalk, just collapsed almost because he can't walk even. And we started smoking. So this is happening, But it's not a blame of a person. It's just Maya that becomes stronger than all these things. A devotee was caught in Boston robbing 4 banks in one day. 4 banks in one day. And all he did, he says, and it was just miracle that he and his girlfriend, they were right here when I was doing the Rajbhog Aarti. And I gave that guy this flower also, I remember. And then I heard, you know what happened to that boy? I said, I know. He robbed 4 banks. He used to just, those days the mask was not there. Otherwise it would not work, that kind of trick. But he just took his handkerchief, covered his, this part, and then he wrote little small note that give me whatever you have, otherwise I have a gun. And he will go to the window, put it, and the cashier will just open the drawer, and he will run away. 4 banks in one day. One of my friends, she asked for divorce. And so what happened? He says, last 10 years my husband's income was $10 million. And IRS never ever questioned devotees, Srila Prabhupada. And I said, what happened? He says, then IRS asked him, where do you get this money from, So he said, well, I have a website. So what kind of website? He says, Happy Family. You don't go to that website, but Happy Family is the name of the website. And people go there and they say, you send me $500 and your dreams will come true, that this is the kind of family I wanted, this is the kind of life I wanted. And he will mail some drugs, not American drugs. He studied Ayurveda, and then he learned what are those substances available in market cheaply, which can compete the American market and still give you a, what do you call that, super consciousness, samadhi. Lord Shiva used to smoke, he used to have affine and all that, drinks and all that. Somras, even the demigods drink. So he learned all that, he could, devotee, he had access to all this and interest also. But in a wrong way. But he invented something, some substance. So once they reach to the family members, he will say, okay, just take one pill, take one pill. They will take it. And next morning everybody is so fresh because the kind of sleep you get is, you cannot beat that. It directly takes you to the super consciousness, samadhi. And then when you wake up, you don't want anything. How about, Michael, some coffee? No. that I don't feel like. How about going shopping? No, I'm okay. Everybody is okay in the family. So guy thought that I am so happy. Even my wife doesn't ask, otherwise she will ask for a sari, or she will ask for bangles or ornaments, or buy this and buy that. But I'm so happy. After 10 years, 10 millions of income, and the devotee was caught, the reason I'm saying that this is a situation of a marginal energy which goes sometimes to spiritual life, sometimes to material life, So, the first Purusha incarnation, which is Lord Vishnu, and Krishna is up there in Golok Vrindavan, of course, spiritual world is Radha Krishna. So Krishna is there, but in spiritual world, the expansion or plenary expansion of Krishna is Vishnu. That is the first Purusha expansion. Yesterday we just only performed Tulsi Viva. And what is that Tulsi? Scripture says the expansion of Mother Radharani is Vrinda in this material world. Nirgunena Gunatmane. That means the form of Lord is actually Nirguna. But then we cannot enjoy. What is our problem? They would like to see Krishna as Krishna. We would like to touch his form. We would like to serve him food. We want to dress him up like a little baby, whatever it is. How will you do that if there is a Nirguna? So, Nirguna Gunatmane, and it says that Bhaktanam Artanashine. Bhaktanam means devotees' problem is this, that the Nirguna has no use whatsoever. So, Krishna says, okay, I will become Saguna. And how? The deity form is a Saguna form of Krishna, where he is the hands and legs and eyes and ears, everything is there. You can touch the deity, you can dress him up, you can offer him food, you can eat the prasadam. When you bathe, you can touch it, So this is how we enjoy the Murti Puja, they call it, So, first of all, from that, Purush and Prakriti modes came out, interactions of modes, which is like mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. Mode of ignorance is basically the 5 basic elements, and then tanmatra, or the sense objects. So, from mode of ignorance we get earth, water, fire, air, ether, and from earth we get smell, taste, form, touch, and sound, right? So this how, like it gives you all the details when you go, further read. And best part is to go back to second canto, where there is a Chatushloki Bhagavatam. And in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, they have given the exactly how everything evaluates, something out of nothing, So, again, going back to mode of passion, the senses, nose, tongue, eyes, skin, ears, vocal cord, legs, hands, organs, and us. So, this has been repeated, but it's there. And then, Pran, Apan, Vyan, Udan, Saman, Hakal, Nag, Devdat, Kurkur, and Dhananjay, the 10 kinds of Vayu also there. And when it comes to mode of goodness, the presiding deities of the senses, like Ashwini Kumar, Pracheta, the Surya, Vayu, Dikpal, Agni, Upendra, Indra, Varuna, Mitra, and all those things. So this is again a repetition or repeated subject. The thing I wanted to point out, yesterday we had a small ceremony of Tulsi and Shaligram, but the mantras that we were chanting, again, same hammering. Even the Karmakand also, Vedvyas will not forget that this is the basic and one should know. So, what he says here, Sahasra Shirja Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapada Sabhummim Vishvato Rutva Atyatishta Dashangvalam. So, he takes a circle, you draw a circle or 14 planetary system, right? Its extent in radially, And then you draw another circle outside of it. And he says, Dashangulam, like in Damodar Leela, the rope was short by 2 fingers. This is the distance, right? And so far as Krishna's potency is concerned, how far it goes? It goes to whatever, you have seen, you have not seen, you have heard, you have not heard. That cosmos or the creation is there, and Dashangulam means 10 fingers. So Krishna is circumambulating or extended beyond that. So just see this 14 planetary system and how wide and long and high and all that. And compared to Krishna's potencies or energies, which is much more bigger than that. So in the first mantra only it says, Sabhummim Vishvato Rutva Atyatishta Dash Angulam. Dash Angulam, 10 fingers, And Purush Evedam Sarvam, again, the first expansion of Krishna, Purush Avatar, and that is Lord Vishnu. So in the mantras also, when you worship Shaligram, it's the same thing. And the best part, when we go to details of every element of this world, then it says like Chandrama Manaso Jatas Chaksuryu Ajayato Mukhad Indrasya Agnischat Pranad Vayu Ajayata. What is that? Chandrama is moon. Yesterday I woke up and looked out of the window and it was eclipse, full moon, and there was eclipse. I could see the shadow of earth on that. Beautiful. I took a picture also, but the thing is that where this moon came from. So it says Chandrama Manaso Jatas. We have our own mind, man, right? It's so beautiful. The mind's potency you cannot beat. If I think of India, I'm right there. If I think of going to my university where I studied, it's there, right here, So it's so fastest possible, right? In every way, mind is the strongest, mind is the best thing available to us. But Chandrama Manaso Jatas. Can you think of mind of Krishna? So beautiful that even this moon that we see, full moon, right? It is a product of mind of Krishna. That's what the mantra says. Chandrama Manaso Jatas. Chaksho Suryo Vajayata. It's so intense you can't even see effulgence of sun, right? You will go blind. But this sun is creation of what? Chaksho Suryo Vajayata. Just look at the eyes of Krishna and sun came out of that. That's a product of eyes or glance of Krishna only. Mukhad Indrascha Agnischa, where the chief of demigods came, Indra. So this came from his mouth. Agni, the fire god also came from his mouth. Pranad Vayu Ajayate. And the air that you see, right, is covering all over. Without air we can't even live, right? It's just amount of air you think so much, right? But it's just come from a little breath of Krishna. So you can imagine this. We are not dealing with ordinary personality. And there are verses and verses. Brahmano se mukham asid. Where are the Brahmanis came from? Mukham asid. from his faith, Brahmanas came, And Bahu Rajanya Kurta, from his hands, this strength, the Kshatriyas, they came. Urutadasvaishya, from this part of belly came Vaishya. And when you experience these people, in India, some call themselves Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya. But Vaishya, who are Vaishya? Vaishya is like mercantile class. They are like living calculator or adding machine, As soon as you talk to them, they will put you figure in front of it, Prabhu, $167, right? Now we cannot even think of that is going to put the bill in front of us. But without making money, he's not even opening his mouth, that kind of people. That's why he says, Urutadasya Vaishya are born like that. And Padabhyam Shudro Vajayato. These poor legs take us up and down, this way, that way, running around. Who is doing that? Most load is taken on the feet. So in the society also, whether they make any money or no, the Shudras serve all those other classes. So knowing the same subject through this mantras, and even when we do the mantra pushpanjali or fire sacrifice, the last one makes me cry sometimes. It says, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. All these things is created for who? For whom? Right? Some people keep earning day and night. They work 24 hours. And you ask them who you are working for or why you are saving for. They say, I got a son. And in order to give it to son, he is making money, he is saving money, and he will leave it for the son. So Krishna is also did all this for whom? Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Only two people is mentioning. Go Brahmanya. For cows and Brahmins, he has done this. This is the conclusion of all those creation, maintenance and annihilation. All this Leela is that time. I feel like crying. He did it for me, this thing. We are so insignificant, right? A little thread, you put it on your shirt or whatever, and someone gives you some kind of spiritual name, and you chant little Gayatri and ring the bell here and there, like Brahmin. Why so much Krishna has to do for Brahmins? And cows. When you walk in streets of India, that's so common, cow. And when you learn here that Krishna has created this whole world for cow, we say cow doesn't know or Krishna doesn't know or we don't know because cows are starving. They don't have enough food to eat even there. Just loosen them up on the sidewalk or wherever they find something, they eat. It was a time when they will only eat grass. Now if you go to India, somebody throws the newspaper and she eats newspaper. Surprising. That's not her food, but she has no choice. Something should go in the stomach. In Damodar Lila, we call about the Padmaganda cows. The special cows, grass was actually they were growing, and that grass will be given to the cows, and that milk, particular Padmaganda, smells like lotus flowers grown in house of Nanda Maharaj, which is boiling, and Mother Yashoda puts Krishna aside and runs to save that particular milk because she thought it's most expensive thing to do, like have. So, go Brahman Hitayacha. Hit means for the benefit of Brahmins and for benefits of cow, all this creation. So I'm sorry, this may not be the purpose of discussion, but when it says, it's a very short translation and purport, I shall therefore describe to you pastimes by which the personality of Godhead extends his transcendental potency for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic world as they occur one after another. And Prabhupada said the omnipotent Lord by his different energies can perform anything and everything he likes. The creation of the cosmic world is done by his Yoga Maya energy. So all these things that we talked about, creation, maintenance and annihilation, is the work of Yoga Maya. And like I mentioned before, when we sit in the class and we learn something, try to meditate on that, Shravana. After Shravana comes Manana. Then you should go out and still keep thinking about it. And then comes Nidhi Dhyasan. Then not only you think once, but over and over you study that, try to increase that level of understanding and go into details and try to find more. Lord Buddha, like they say, Keshava Dhruta, Buddha Sharira, Jai Jagadish Hare. Lord Buddha, when he was realized, when anybody is actually pure devotee of Lord and realizes supreme truth, absolute truth, it changes the world around him. And that's why, the world was very happy. And when Buddha opened his eyes, he was self-realized person now. And he was very happy about it. But then next moment, he saw a huge ocean of knowledge. And he says, oh my God, I just tasted one drop of knowledge. The absolute truth of Krishna was just one drop of knowledge I have. There is a whole ocean of knowledge I have to know. So this was his worry. This is called Atato Brahma Jigyasa. So maybe by sitting here you may have absorbed something, but that's just a spoonful of it. There is an ocean to know, and one should be always able to access to those things. Yesterday I was chanting and I was thinking in my mind, Om Keshvaya Namam Narayanam Madhvayam Govindayam Vishnavayam. In half an hour you have to do the ceremony. So I was going very, very fast. But sometimes when I do like Guru Puja, I add one name and nobody notice, right? Which Guru I add? I add Om Googlaya Namaswaha. Google. Om Googlaya Namaswaha. Right? Everybody's Googling. Anything that comes, right? So easy. And that's such a great idea in this world. You talk about any subject and they have the answer, right? So why not? People may have 10,000 disciples, right? But Google, everyone is a disciple of Google. So when I say, Guru's names, I put also his name and nobody notices. I said, that's good, you didn't notice it. Anyway, it was nice to talk to you guys. Now, Sharira Vidyajal, today is a breakfast, no? Do we have? Very good. Sometimes, they don't have breakfast because this appearance day and this disappearance day and people are fasting till noon. And I walk from my home, come here. By the time I get hungry, want to have breakfast, and I say, no, Prabhu, not today. Today we are fasting up to noon. So I say, why people appear and disappear? I don't understand. I say, no, I have to fast. But people have to appear and people have to disappear. And we have to stay hungry sometimes. But thank God you told me today there is some breakfast. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. The microphone you have to shut it off, it makes noise.
How to turn it off?